Diddy says that new evidence should make him be able to post bail. Diddy has filed a new motion to try to get bail with a whole bunch of new restrictions and also claiming that there are new circumstances and new evidence that should lead to him getting a successful bail. So we're going to go ahead and deep dive Diddy's bail motion that he filed to the judge and see exactly what he's talking about in this motion. And to start out, Diddy's motion for bail was so long that it has a table of contents. Diddy and his team are claiming, since there is new evidence and new circumstances, that Diddy should be able to successfully get this bail, and they use the CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch as an example in his own bail package. Diddy's team even used a direct statement from the indictment saying that Jeffries relied on services of a security company to surveil and intimidate witnesses. Diddy and his team are claiming that the government failed to show that Diddy is a flight risk or a danger. Now they talk about the weight in light of the new evidence. Over the past 6 weeks, the defense has received approximately 23.5 terabytes of discovery material. Holy cow, that's a lot. The material reveals new information about the case, the evidence, and the government's previous bail contingents, and it was not known at the time of the hearing. The new material demonstrates that the government previously misrepresented the weight of the evidence, and it undermines the government's claims that Mr. Combs presents a danger. First, the discovery includes blank that refutes the government's core trafficking allegations. Second, this discovery negates the government's claim that there is a second potential victim. The discovery shows that the government's obstruction and witness tampering allegations were totally misleading. Now, most of this information is blacked out, but from what we can tell, as noted, the government's allegations from the trafficking related to one woman referred to as Victim 1, who Mr. Combs shared an 11-year relationship with, and this would be Cassie. They're talking about Diddy and Cassie's relationship, but then they start saying that Cassie told Diddy that she was making a tell-all book and that Diddy would have to buy the rights to this tell-all book for $30,000 if he didn't want it to be published. Diddy and his team are saying that after this alleged tell-all book that he decided not to purchase is when Cassie filed her lawsuit against Diddy for $30 million. And they're saying that this should show some type of misjustice in this trial, saying that the alleged second victim is not a victim at all. And during this initial bail hearing, the government alluded to a potential second victim, arguing that Diddy's contacts with this victim were evidence of obstruction. Despite the government's claims that this woman is a trafficking victim, the defense has learned that the government has not even spoke to her, nor was she the target of any obstruction conduct by Mr. Combs, claiming that the government's other obstruction and witness tampering allegations were false, claiming that one of the grand jury witnesses contacted him, not the other way around. The September 2024 communications were with an individual represented by counsel who wanted to make a public statement. I don't know, but it sounds to me a lot like Kalina Harper, because we do know that she put out a statement, a very public statement, defending Diddy right after Dawn Richard filed her lawsuit against Diddy. To the extent that the individuals were contacted, the defense counsel explained that to conduct a responsible defense investigation, it must, of course, continue to interview witnesses. Added another piece of evidence: the testimony of blank undermines the government's case. The defense counsel noted at initial hearings that based on the defense interviews investigations, several individuals associated with a male companion agency have stated to the prosecutors that they are paid for their time, not for physical relations. And they start laying out Diddy's character, his work history, and all of the positive information about Diddy in this bail package. And they lay out every single restriction that Diddy is willing to negotiate with if he gets this bail package. And baby, the list is long. Diddy is putting up a $50 million bond co-signed by him, his mother, his sister, the mother of his oldest daughter, the mother of his youngest daughter, and his 3 adult sons. Secured by the equity of Mr. Combs' residence in Miami, Florida, a property appraised at about $48 million. Also secured by his mother's home in Miami, Florida. He is also declaring full home detention at his residence in Miami or a suitable location in New York with GPS monitoring. He will also restrict his travel from the southern and eastern districts of New York and southern district of Florida. Diddy must also pay part of the cost of the location monitoring, also 24/7 monitoring by a qualified security personnel approved by the government or pretrial services. Diddy will also have no access to telephones or the internet except for during calls with the counsel to be arranged by security personnel. He will restrict all visitors except for counsel and pre-approved lists only consisting of specific family members with the consent of pretrial services and the government. And these family visits will be scheduled only through the pretrial services prior approval, and security personnel will monitor these family visits. Mr. Combs will also consent to provide pretrial services random access to his residence. Talks about how Diddy, Janice Combs, Chance Combs, Jesse Combs, and Delilah Combs have all turned in their passports. Counsel will continue their efforts to sell Diddy's airplane. Diddy shall submit to testing for prohibited substances if required by the pretrial services office or supervising officer. Testing may be used by random frequency and include urine testing, the wearing of sweat patches, a remote alcohol testing system, and or any form of prohibited substances screening or testing. Diddy must participate in a program or counseling if directed by the pretrial services office or supervising officers. And they said that they are willing to add anything different or more, whatever the honor thinks is necessary to get this release. This is all of the highlights from Diddy's bail package. If you want to read the whole thing, you can go over to my Patreon, Kadisha Lynn. You can find the link in my bio, and I will put this up for you guys so you guys can read the entirety of this whole thing because it is 27 pages long. Guys, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that Diddy might get bailed this time around? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.